Good evening. My name is Kay. I'm your friend coming to you with a small COVID chat. I'll tell you why we need to be extra careful about the coronavirus. Might feel that, hey, last 1 year I've been a pro. I know exactly what to do, how to take care. That's what I thought. But I've been proven wrong in the last few days with a couple of incidents. I just want to share an update with you. The first thing is I got a message from somebody who lives in Bhopal saying that there are no places available in the burial ground. Okay, must be the last thing that we all should be worrying about. Why should I care? Of course, even if you're dead, there's no place to bury. This is reality because there are a lot of people dying and the burial grounds are busy. Even the process is taking a lot of time. Okay, so this is the last thing that we all should be worried about, but I want to talk about this first. The second thing is I'll tell you why you should not go out unnecessarily, and also strike a conversation with your neighbors, friends. They're all buddies, bosom buddies. We chat with them, we think about them all the time, but it's also fun to talk to them, have a small conversation outside. It's fun, right? I like to do that, but I'll tell you why we should all stop this. 2 days back, one of my neighbors called me. I represent the emergency response team within my apartments. So this gentleman called me and said he's having COVID-like symptoms and what to do. So my advice to him was, first thing is to lock yourself up, do not step outside, stop the maid, stop the interaction with the outside world. Then if you need any help, please call the emergency response team. Call me, my number is with that person. And then multiple times when I told not to step outside. And then call for a COVID test. So I personally made arrangements for the COVID test to happen. Yesterday morning, the COVID test was arranged at 9 o'clock. And yesterday morning, I found this person walking around the apartment. Quite disturbing. And again, respected the age and did not make a big issue. That's not the reason why I exist. But anyway, this happened. And then I also came to know that the gentleman actually went outside the apartment to get the COVID test done. Okay, in a hospital. But anyway, they're all done. The reason why we generally expect the apartment dwellers, and if you're living in a community, you have to respect the community spirit. And then also the safety, there's a compromise that is made. If somebody is suspected to have COVID, stepping outside, so that means there is a possibility that you're going to contaminate the place around you. You're going to come across people, your neighbor, you cannot stop smiling at them or interacting with them. So there's a possibility you're going to spread the virus. So when you have a suspected case of COVID, cough, or any symptom, oxygen saturation going down, the best thing to do is to zip up and sit at home. Talk to a doctor for advice. There are plenty of doctors available. And then call for a test. If the test result is negative, it could be something else. And we also see a lot of false negatives. We also see a lot of false positives. So there's a chance that we are taking. And then it's always better to err in the safer side, right? Today evening, I came to know that both the gentleman and his wife are tested positive. Okay, so now this is very disturbing. And now, of course, they are going to go through a tough time. No way anybody is going to be spared. Now, even if you're the strongest person, suddenly you feel that you're tested positive, it's going to be causing a little bit of a disturbance in the family, in your minds, and psychologically affected. And all this trauma is, especially as you're older and older with comorbidities, the chances of things getting worsened is really, really high, right? So now just imagine that you are meeting a neighbor, going around, walking, and then you're saying hello to them, and then you're striking a conversation without knowing this person is tested for COVID, but not knowing what the result is. Or probably is already having symptoms, you have no knowledge about it, but you have friends, you see, you're talking to them. This should stop. I want to stop this. I want my family members to stop, and I want all my friends to stop. I want the entire community around me to stop because this is getting serious. The next thing that happened today is there are no beds available in the hospital. I at least got 4 phone calls today within my apartment and also outside, friends and somebody known to me through somebody else asking me to guide them to locate hospitals which can provide hospitalization for COVID suspects and also COVID victims. Hospitals are not available, the beds are not available, and then you need to have really the highest possible influence and the luck to get into the hospital. Why do we need to really get into a complicated situation, creating trouble for ourselves, creating trouble for the family members, and also creating trouble for the entire community? So friends, it's my humble request. I'm not a doctor, but I witness COVID related cases. Also, many places where we hear stories of people who get their vaccination think that they're immune to COVID. That's not correct. We see and hear news about many people getting positive COVID after the vaccination is done. Okay, so vaccination is not a state to be, if you're vaccinated, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be affected by COVID. You may not get impacted by COVID, but you probably are going to be spreading the COVID virus to somebody else. So it's my humble request. First thing is, do not interact with the outside world. Only if it's absolutely not necessary, it's fun, it is a social kind of setup. I think we all need to wait. It's very painful to watch that the COVID is dragged so long. The pandemic is dragging us so long. And then it's really important for us to appreciate that. And then all this big gathering and going out unnecessarily, all those things must stop. The second thing is, if you are interested in exercising, you want some fresh air, go to a place where there are no people. And even if there are people known to you, do not engage in a conversation. Do not talk to them. Right? Even with the mask, just absolutely not needed. You can actually go home and do a Zoom call and talk to the person. Okay, and we become really pro in making Zoom calls and even WhatsApp video calls. And the third thing is, if you are suspecting to have COVID, zip up and stay home. Do not step outside. Call for help. Call for support. Call for testing to be done. Make sure that your records are clean before you start interacting with the outside world. And then the last thing is, please contribute to the safety of the entire community. I can do it, you can do it, all of us can do that. With all these things, if you get COVID, well, if you really do not know where the COVID source is, fine, let's fight it out. That's a reality to accept and we need to fight it out. Before I wind up, be safe, be there to save. That's a small message from me. COVID is still there. It is going to be there for some more time. We don't know. Let's kind of postpone all our desire to step out and, have those social interactions. Let's postpone. All the good times are going to come, right? Good times are going to come. I'm very positive about this. Patience is needed. So that's what the world of running an ultramarathon taught me. Okay, be patient. Take one step at a time, 1 mile at a time, 1 kilometer at a time. The finish line will come. We will all see the end of the day with so much happiness, much, much better than what we have gone through ever in our life. Stay safe. Signing off for now. Bye-bye.